Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you're calling in from today. And welcome to another of DMU's live streams, this time on careers and employability. Just to introduce myself, first of all, I'm Sam, a careers advisor at DMU. And today I'll be talking a little bit about our exclusive DMU Works service that is here to support your career, and also being around to answer your questions. So how it's going to work is I'll speak for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then beyond that, you should see a comments box either below my head or to the side, depending on what device you're watching on. And there you can post any questions that you have and we'll get through to them. So as I mentioned, I'm Sam, a postgraduate careers advisor at DMU. So my role is really to support our students with whatever it is that they need around their career. It can be applications, interviews, job hunting, career advice, anything. I also work with employers to ensure that our students are prepared for their futures after graduation. But I'm actually only one of 70 extra DMU Works staff. Now, when I say DMU Works, what I mean is our service that is here to support your careers and employability. There's 70 to us overall, and that is in addition to all our academic and teaching staff who are extra staff at DMU here to support you however we can. And ultimately, what we're here to do is to help you answer this question. Where is it that you're studying, whether you're doing an undergraduate qualification or postgraduate qualification with us, where will that study take you in the future? What does a successful career look like for you? Now, everything that I'm going to talk today is actually going to be additional, but I also wanted, before I go into the full detail, also highlight that at DMU, one of the things we pride ourselves on is that our degrees are designed with industry in mind. So we do a lot of work to make sure that the stuff that we're teaching day to day as part of our degrees is actually designed to be relevant to industry problems, meaning that you will be equipped with the skills you need to make actual real world impact in whatever it is that you want to go on to in the future. That said, the keys today, what I'm going to talk about is 7 key services beyond your degree that are in addition to that our students have access to that helps them with their career success. And all of this is part of DMU Works. Now, before anything, a bit of a shameless plug here, but it's also worth noting that DMU Works as a career service is one of the best in the entire country of the United Kingdom. We've won a lot of awards over the past few years. I've popped 2 of the big ones from last year that we've won, just as some evidence. So we won the Best University Careers and Employability Service last year at the National Undergraduate Employability Awards. We're also a Times Higher Education Award winner because of the service that we offer and the way that we go above and beyond for all our students. So admittedly, I am biased, but I do think overall that one of the great strengths of DMU is the strength of our career service and the support that we can offer you. In terms of what that support looks like, there's 7 key services, as I mentioned, that I'm going to talk about today. So I'm going to cover our one-to-one advice support for our students. I'm going to talk about how we can help you if you're interested in freelancing or starting your own business, which I know students, particularly from certain courses, are. I talk about a wide array of ways that you can network with employers as a DMU students, both for our employer events and our employer mentor program, as well as possibly something that is going to be interest for a lot of you around also how we can help you find and secure graduate jobs, part-time jobs during your studies, as well as things like placement and internship opportunities. Now, I'm also aware that for many of you, the UK will be a place that you might not have been to before or have only visited before. You might be new to the country. And I want to take a moment just to talk about some of the additional support that we offer as a service for international students. I'll finally finish off with something called DMU for Life, which I'll explain more about when we get there. And then we can go round to some questions, which, as I said, feel free to comment in the chat below. So first of our services then, first of the things that we offer you as a DMU student is our one-to-one careers appointments. And this is kind of one of the main backbones of our service overall. And what this is basically your chance as a student to get unlimited access to one-to-one careers advice and appointments with our qualified careers advisors and coaches. I'm one of these advisors and coaches. It's one of the favorite parts of my job. And really the advantage of this is because it's one-to-one, what that means is that we can support you with whatever it is that you are facing and challenging with during your career. It might be, for example, that you are just unsure where to start in the UK labour market. It can be that you're wanting to create a UK application but have never done it before. Or alternatively, it could be that you've actually been applying for jobs for a while but aren't getting anywhere. It can be that we help you with really showcasing how you can stand out in an interview, or some of those deeper questions like, what is it that I want to do? What is it that are my unique selling points? What makes me stand out and impress employers? All of this is unlimited, as I said. I think there's a limit of one a day, but beyond that, you can have one every day of the year, including university holidays. But our one-to-one support isn't limited to just careers in general. We also offer one-to-one support, particularly for students who are interested in starting their own business. Now, at DMU, our enterprise team, for those who are interested in freelancing or starting your own business, our enterprise team is one, again, of the best in the country. We've got, again, won a lot of awards recently, and I think we've recently been voted as one of the top 10 cities in the UK for enterprise for students. So our enterprise team offer, first of all, advice for starting your own business, freelancing and things like that, as well as access to a huge network of employers and like-minded students and like-minded graduates interested in entrepreneurship. We also offer boot camps, competitions, masterclasses, funding to help you launch your business off the ground, whether that is competitions for funding, whether that is access to mentoring, whether it is access to DMU global trips. For example, next week, we have a group of students going to Los Angeles and another group of students going to Lisbon in Portugal around freelancing and careers. Whatever it is, we are here for you. We offer a huge array of support. Now, linked to that, though, one of the strengths of our startup support is not only the one-to-one support, the access to those employers and those networks. And this is something that we can help all students with. Something we really pride ourselves on at DMU is our links with employers and the ways in which we facilitate and link up students with prospective employers in the future. As a big example of this, we often have employers both on campus and running virtual webinars with us. For example, I've provided a few different logos there of employees we've had on before. And overall, what we try and do throughout the year is offer a regular calendar of events for our students to help them meet employers, learn more about their skills, and ultimately decide what it is they want to do for their graduate career. To give you a taste of this, last year, so for our academic year 2021 to 2020-21, I think we had nearly 900 events on through that year, and there really is something for everybody. That said, often students not only find those events valuable, but want something a little bit more deeper with employers, a little bit more personalized to them. And this is where many of our employability mentoring offers come in. So if you imagine those events are your chances to network with employers in events, in both on campus and off campus, but they're often one-off events or part of a series. In our employability mentoring program, what we do is match you as a student one-to-one with an industry mentor. So this is a mentor from industry who's got a lot of experience. You can then guide you and support you with your career search, as well as with your wider goals around, for example, confidence, academia, and whatever it is that you're hoping that your time at DMU will achieve. Again, this is one of my favorite things about our DMU service. I know so many students have had life-changing relationships as part of our employability mentoring program, and it is a real benefit that is open to every single one of our students. Now, all of that, of course, is actually leading to the most important question that I imagine many of you will be asking, which is, well, what about jobs? You know, this employer networking is really helpful. This one-to-one support is really helpful. But how can it help me get jobs at the end of it? And again, this is something that we as a service are really passionate about supporting our services with. So let me take you through some of the options you've got for work with DMU. Now, for many of you, particularly, I know that a lot of our international students are really interested in is part-time work or work during their studies. And we can help with this in a number of different ways, but a particular way that we support our students with this is through Unitemps. Now, I imagine you've probably not heard of Unitemps before. They're basically our in-house, on-campus recruitment agency. They're run by the university, and what they do is provide work opportunities, all of which are paid for our students. Many of these are exclusive to our DMU students, and many of these will also be designed to work around you and your studies. So for example, you might be working as an ambassador or on events during your studies where you've got flexible work hours and flexible schedules. That mean perhaps 1 week when you've got loads of deadlines, you don't have many hours, you don't need to work very much, but another week where you're a bit more free, you can work more hours and get more money. And so our UniSemp Surge provides a range of different job opportunities around that for our students. Alongside that though, we also have a number of other things as well. So I can see that one of our questions from Michael was about placement opportunities. So I'll talk a little bit about this here. Thank you for your question, Michael. And for the rest of you, if you do have any questions, pop them in the chat. For selected courses, now this isn't every course at DMU, so I would encourage you to make sure that your course offers a placement opportunity as part of it before you apply if you're interested in this. But for selected courses, we do have an industry placement option. So this is where, for example, you'll do your course for a while, do the academic study, and then you'll go away for some time in the industry before coming back to finish off your studies. For an example of how this works, let's say for a master's student, I know that a lot of our computer and engineering courses offer industry placements. What this will mean is that you'll do 2 semesters of study with DMU. You'll then go off for your placement, which is in the UK and will be covered by your student visa to work full time for say 12 months. And then you'll come back to finish your final semester and final project with DMU. Now, with these placements, we don't guarantee them. And that's really important to note. We can't guarantee you a placement if you apply for these courses. However, what we do offer is that in each faculty, we have a dedicated team of placement professionals who source different placement opportunities, will work with you to apply for different placement jobs, really help you be as impressive as you can, and ultimately make it far easier for you to secure these placement opportunities in the first place. At DMU, we've got one of the largest placement support teams in the country. I believe it's, again, one of our unique selling points. If you are interested in placement, check your course offers it, but if it does, then we can offer you a lot of support around this. Now, beyond that, and apologies for some of the slides maybe being a little bit odd in their formatting, beyond that, we also offer a wider jobs board. So we also, in that 70 staff members I talked about at the start, some of those staff members are actually dedicated to engaging employers, bringing them on campus, but also advertising their jobs to DMU students. So we have a jobs board dedicated to graduate jobs for after you finish your studies, as well as internships, where you can apply for these, get help from this university, and ultimately get a much better chance of getting them. So we offer a curated, tailored jobs board just for DMU students and our DMU graduates. Beyond that, and this links to what my next service is going to be about around our support for international students, we also have a few specialist jobs boards around that as well. One thing that I know is really popular amongst our current international students is Student Circus, a jobs board that you get access to as a DMU student. This is basically tailored towards international students, where every single graduate job on there is by an employer who's willing to provide long-term skilled worker sponsorship to work in the UK. So basically willing to sponsor your visa to work in the UK long-term. Beyond that, another opportunity that, again, I know is really popular among quite a lot of our international students is our Frontrunners program. So this is something we run every year. I think this year we've had 90 positions where it's an internship program, fully paid, that happens alongside your studies. So normally it's 9 hours during term time. Get that paid. And what you'll do as part of that is work on graduate level work, whether that is in, say, project management or marketing or research. Any of this work, as well as being paid, is also going to be relevant to graduate jobs. So every year we run this scheme. I think we have 90 to 100 internships each year. They're exclusive for our DMU students. So this is just another example of how DMU as a service is really aiming to support our students with gaining experience and gaining a really good time at university to help them with their futures. Now, I've already started to talk about international student support, but just to give you a little bit more information around this. Now, everything that I've talked about today is open to international students, the same as our home students, but we also offer some extra things as well. because I know from my work one-to-one with international students, both how exceptionally resilient and brave they are in coming to the UK and working in a new country, first of all, but also that there might be some confusion, some additional challenges they have because they're new to the country. So as well as our one-to-one advice service, we also run events and workshops throughout the year that are specialized for international students. This can be on anything from visas to introductions to how to work in the UK labour market, to how to make UK applications. It can also be things like hearing from successful alumni or employers. There's a real range. To give you a taste of this, some of the sessions we've got next week, we have a specialist in how to get jobs that secure you skilled worker visa sponsorship coming in to talk to our students. We also have a talk around how to get summer work as an international student, and we run these throughout the year as specialist events. Alongside that, we also have things like EMFD, I've said that right, EMFD Global Careers Fair, which is a fair that runs twice a year in October and April, that's really aimed at international careers and global companies. So bearing in mind that I know that a lot of international students are interested in working in multinational companies, this would be the one for you. Alongside that, and I won't go through this too much, but it's also worth bearing in mind, because I know I've had international students before saying, well, I'm concerned, Sam, because yes, I'll be at DMU, but during holidays, I might be going back to my home country. Is the support not going to be there for me then? Just to make you aware that all of our stuff that I talked about today is available online as well as face-to-face. And we have a variety of extra resources that are available digitally for you. I'm not going to go through all of these, but just the key things are we can offer our appointments online. We can run a lot of our events online. And we also have a whole range of things like CV checkers and interview practice that you can access online as well. So no matter where you are in the world, very much DMU wants to be here for you. And as the final thing, really, that doesn't change when you graduate. And as part of the DMU for Life initiative that we're running at the minute, once you become a DMU student, you gain access to all the services I've talked about today for life. So this means that even when you graduate, even 10 years from graduation, even 30 years from graduation, we want to be here for you and supporting you with your career. This is something that I found has been really useful for our new international graduates working on the post-study work visa, the graduate visa, when they're using that to find work, but also say for graduates who come back after 10 years in industry looking for a career change, or coming back 30 years in industry looking to re-energize their career search and decide what it is they want to do in the future. So as a final message for you, very much, we've got a lot of stuff on offer you as a student, but that also doesn't go away when you graduate. And to sum up then, before we go over to questions, there's a lot on offer alongside your degree at DMU. We offer one-to-one careers advice, specialist startup support if you want to start your own business, a range of ways to network with employers, a range of ways to find work no matter what you're looking for, as well as specialist support for international students. And finally, the fact that all of this is available for you for as long as you need it after you graduate. So that is everything that I wanted to say today. I can see that we've had a few comments coming in, so let's move over now to questions. So if you do have a question for me, let me know in the comments box below, and I'll do my best to open for it. So first of all, we have a question from Preach. Thank you, Preach, for asking, what are the job opportunities for international business and human resource management students? So Preach, with this, and this is actually a cohort of students that I've worked quite closely with, the job opportunities can vary depending on what it is that you're interested in doing. International business and human resource management is quite a broad degree overall with a lot of different applications, a lot of different areas. So for example, you can be going into work is sort of classic job titles like in HR, HR assistants, HR coordinators, HR managers, depending on your level of experience, or in business, such as, for example, being a business analyst, a business advisor. Beyond that, though, what we are also finding is that our international business and HR management students don't just stick in those areas. They do go into other areas as well, depending on their interests. For example, I've known business students that have become project managers, business students that have gone into the technology sector, business students that have gone and started their own business. So really, Preach, what I'd say here, and this is what I say to all students, is when you're asking what are the job opportunities, it really will depend what you're interested in. As a master's, there's a lot of areas you can go into from it, but it depends on what you're interested in right now. And this is something that usually we work with our students in, say, those one-to-one appointments and in those events to help them work out. For example, in your first few weeks, you might come and see someone like me, and we'll have a chat about what it is you're interested in, and then we'll craft a plan for the year for your kind of ongoing career search for you to decide what it is you might want to go for after you graduate. So Preach, hope that helps. Hope that's answered your questions. Let me know in another comment if you have any follow-up questions from that. Happy to chat today, here for as long as you need. So Jennifer, great question. How do I find out which courses have the industry placement? Is it listed on the DMU website, or is an email address a point of contact? Jennifer, there should be on the DMU website for specific courses. There should be, for each course, it will say if the placement is an option, it will say. However, if you do, if you can't find it there, feel free to get in touch with us and we'll be able to confirm it for you. We've got various placements. I'm not sure what faculty it is you're focused on, Jennifer, but we've got placements teams in each faculty who can answer that question for you. But probably the best place to go, first of all, would be onto the DMU website, look at the courses you're interested in and see if they have the placement option. Hope that helps, Jennifer. But again, if any more questions or comments, just post them in the chat and we'll get through to them. So let's see what else we've got here. Brilliant, Jennifer. Thank you. DJ, so unfortunately, as a careers advisor, DJ asked about receiving an unconditional offer. To accept that, do I have to make a deposit or send an email to the admissions department? DJ, unfortunately, because I'm working in careers rather than admissions, I can't answer that question for you. Hopefully we can get an answer for you in the chat, though. Sorry, I don't know the answer off the top of my head, but we can get that for you. We'll reply to you with a comment in the chat, just confirming where that is. I can also see Michael earlier talked about placements. Just to confirm, Michael, just to tell you a little bit more about how the placements works at DMU, because I touched on it, but I just give you a bit more of an explanation. So in each faculty, we have a placements team, and the support they offer really ranges. When you start your study at DMU, your placements team will get in touch with you. And what they'll offer is a variety of different things. So first of all, they'll offer a lot of one-to-one support with you with a placements advisor, where they'll, for example, help you with crafting your CV, crafting your cover letters, finding different placement opportunities. Alongside that, they'll also work with organizations in the local area, as well as nationally and in some cases internationally, to find placement opportunities that you might be interested in. Now, it's worth noting that what we can't do in most cases, apart from some health and life science courses, is guarantee a placement. You'll have to get that yourself, because employers want to meet you first of all before they know whether they're willing to take you on for a placement. But we can help you a lot with that. So alongside that one-to-one support and that list of opportunities, we also have a big training program that each faculty offers that will also give you all the tools you need to find your own placements. Again, what we're really there for is to support you at any step of the way whenever you need it. So that support will begin once you start with us, but it continues throughout your time with us at DMU. Michael, great to hear from you. So, Michael, with your question around your MSc International Business Finance, asking about what the career opportunities around that, especially abroad. So, Michael, now, again, I'm going to caveat this with, because I specialize mostly in the UK, I can't give you loads and loads of insight this, because abroad it is a massive sector. What we do know is that we have had a number of our business and finance graduates work abroad in a variety of different areas. Let me just give you a bit of a rundown about what you can expect there. So again, like the business and human resource management qualification, the international business and finance qualification is quite a broad ranging degree overall. And what you'll find with that is that a lot of our graduates have gone into different areas. So some go into finance. So for example, going into work as finance analysts, financial consultants in some cases, working in finance as finance coordinators. or generally working in banks or finance associated roles, for example, being a finance project manager. Also can go for a number of standard business roles such as business development, business analysts, general project management, project coordinators. But beyond that, this is why there's a lot of different things on offer. They can also take that into a number of different areas, because a lot of employers will not necessarily need a specific degree to go with them and go on their graduate programs. They'll be looking for the evidence of that what that degree is giving you and your deeper potential. So, for example, you could go into supply chain and logistics, you could go into operations, you can go into management, but you could also go into areas like technology, healthcare, or usually more healthcare management side of things, analysis and logistics. There's a huge range available for you. Now, in terms of how that works abroad, that's a huge question because it depends on which country it is that you're interested in and what you're looking like. What I can say, if we look at kind of the multinational companies, so the companies that are got bases in lots and lots of different countries, usually the opportunities they will run are called graduate schemes, which you definitely, as an MSc International Business and Finance student, can apply for. And this will be in a variety of different areas. So again, it really depends on your interest. And usually what I'd be saying here is have a chat with one of us when you come to DMU, work out what area it is that you're interested in, and then you can focus on that, because there's a huge range of different job opportunities out there. You can apply for any of them, but what it really helps to do is have that focus, so you know what it is that you're interested in and what you're going to spend your time on applying to. So, Michael, I hope that's quite a broad answer overall. It's quite a broad question. It's basically, there's a number of different career opportunities. Depends on what you want to do. But ultimately, I'd say if you want to talk about this more, if you do join with us, if you want to talk about this more, come and book in a chat with us, and we'll be happy to talk more about this for you personally, because the answer for this changes for every single student. So Ika Samua, thank you for this. So now this is an area that I'm less of a specialist on, Samua, because I've been working more with business and law students, but I do know my colleagues in health and life sciences have worked with global health. So what I'd say here is two things. I say that if you want more detail on this from a specialist, reach out to us. You can email me at sam.parr@dmu.ac.uk, and I'll make sure that we get a bit more detail for you. From what I know for the job opportunity for global health students, again, there's quite a broad range of different areas, and it will depend on your experience. But with global health, we've had students go into healthcare related roles, but also particularly go into healthcare associated roles. So, for example, working in the NHS in various ways, working in Public Health England, and particularly with them, what we often find is that MSc global health students use that to specialize in an area of healthcare, associated healthcare job that they're looking for. So, for example, they might use their MSc in global health to support them with getting a job as a healthcare manager or as a healthcare analyst, or one of the many associated roles around healthcare that are beyond just being a doctor or being a nurse. So, sorry that's not my specialism, so I can't give you loads of detail there. What I would say is reach out to me if you want more detail. But really, what I from my understanding from my chats with my colleagues, MSc Global Health International students generally go into is using their global health MSc to go into those healthcare related roles that are associated with healthcare but aren't necessarily being a doctor or a nurse. So Preach, again, I'm not sure, because I'm working from careers, I'm afraid I can't answer your question off the top of my head. We'll see if we can answer it in the chat for you. Oh, sorry, John. Sorry, I don't know why it's coming up in a different way. My pleasure answering your first question. We'll see if we can answer the chat for you, John, because I'm afraid I don't know that as a careers advisor myself. Okay, well, we're running out of time. I see we've got one more question coming in, which is about what are the opportunities available for MSc Data Analytics from Olamide? Thanks, Olamide, for this. So data analytics, a wide range of different areas. Again, some of the things I've been talking about for the business students will be relevant for you, in that data analytics can be taken into a wide array of disciplines. For example, you can go into programming, you can go into computer science, as well as associated roles. The classic career areas that you might be interested in, though, are things like being a data scientist, data researcher, business analyst, any sort of role that has analyst in the title, but particularly focused on data. Or you might be interested in actually going into academia and say PhD research with that data analysis focus. So there's quite a lot there. Again, there's a specialist ones that would be natural fits for you with MSc, but that's not to say it stops you from going into a huge range of different careers. And so, Michael, just to remind everyone on my email, if you do want to reach out, if I haven't been able to answer your questions there, you want more detail, my email is sam.parr@dmu.ac.uk. I'll pop it in the chat. And with that, we've just run out of time today. So I'll see if we can get that in the chat for you all. It's been a pleasure to chat with you all today around careers. For those of you who are thinking of DMU, really look forward to meeting you in the next academic year when you're coming here and chatting with you on campus or online, whatever you prefer. Beyond that, have a great day wherever you are in the world, and look forward to seeing you in September. Thanks all. Farewell.